Eli Holstein
Yeah.
and the Pitt Panthers, they win the backyard brawl in dramatic fashion. Last second touch, 38-34, your final score. West Virginia had a 10-point lead with about 5 minutes left. We got a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of reverbs about that very point, which you will hear later on in this episode. To that point in the second half, Pitt had only gained 4 offensive yards, but that is when Pitt got it together. That is when Eli Holstein led the Pitt Panthers on this game-winning drive. My reaction watching this was, good God, they've got something special here.
Yeah.
Good God, so. They've got something special because, you know, we have been talking now, I think, increasingly so about Pitt making this change on offense, hiring Cade Bell from Western Carolina. They're running plays a lot faster, 6 seconds faster than the national average. It's more up-tempo. It's just different. It looks completely different. If you watched Pitt 5 years ago and went to sleep and then woke up and watched this game, you'd be like, well, is this a different coach? Same coach, went out, got a different offensive coordinator. So not only that, but they bring up Eli Holstein, who's a transfer, the redshirt freshman from Alabama. He was a 4-star coming out of school. Now he's playing for Pitt. He wins that job over Nate Yarnell, and through a couple games now has very much looked legit.
Yes.
Has Pitt at 3-0. And this was a big one, right? This was a big one. Not only was it a measuring stick between the ACC and the Big 12, but it's a heated rivalry. It's the backyard brawl. So mindful again of the fact that the ACC is kind of all over the place. I'm kind of sitting here looking at the Pitt Panthers thinking, wow, they actually have an offense that goes somewhere. Defense is still maybe a little bit of a work in progress.
Yes.
In the front seven, but it's at least a team in the ACC that you can feel pretty good about at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Eli Holstein's a real quarterback. Pitt has not always been able to say that over the years. And if I'm a Pitt fan, I'm overjoyed at knowing that even when my team is behind, that there is somebody under center, that there is an offensive vision that can put my team and give my team a shot, give my team a chance. And he goes downfield. He's confident, and not to curse him with anything, but like, who did TVD sort of have a coming out game against? Like, there was a huge Kenny Pickett TVD game. There was probably a huge TVD NC State game where you're almost surprised after seeing, you know, some of the quarterbacks over the years for Miami. You're like, oh, this guy's so special. This is crazy. I felt that way about Eli Holstein today. Going down 10, I'm like, look, there's 3 and change minutes left. Something is going to happen. Maybe Pitt loses, but they're going to lose doing everything they can. And they're going to lose saying like, oh, I think they practiced this in practice. This succession of plays. Yes. It was a really fun game. I loved watching. West Virginia's skill talent is really fun. It is really, the defenses weren't great. The skill talent, the receivers are really fun. Obviously, the running back duo for West Virginia is quite fun. We've talked about Des Reed, and this was not a Pitt running the ball type game.
No.
I think it was on the touchdown catch that put Pitt down 3 late, where a receiver caught it kind of draped by 3 dudes on the left sideline in the end zone. I think whoever was calling the game said, wow, that's his first catch of the game. I think that's his first catch of the season, and it was the most important play of Pitt's season, basically. Eli Holstein's a real quarterback. Pitt's a real team. They're going to lose games in the way that they're winning the games, of course. But I had a ton of fun, and I can't imagine a West Virginia fan and their relationship to Garrett Greene. I'm sure you've been in a relationship. I've definitely been in a relationship personally with football teams where you're like, I don't know what to expect from this person on any given day. And on any given drive, on any given play, I didn't know what to expect from Garrett Greene. I was entertained, though.
That is part of his charm, is it not?
I think so.
That is part of his charm.
I had 31 different opinions of him watching this.
Yeah, what I wrote down on my legal pad was, this is not an offense built to have Garrett Greene throw it 30 times.
No.
The passing game is complementary to the running game. They ran it really effectively a year ago. They got 2 good backs. This is an offense that needs to run and needs to put him in selected spots where he can throw the football, because when you have him thrown it 30 times, you're right, strange things can happen. And we were joking on that final drive by West Virginia that he kind of threw 3 interceptions on one drive.
He did. He absolutely did. He threw 3 passes. The third one got intercepted. The first 2 should have been. And I get, right, this is
under duress.
Totally
right?
under duress. The seconds are dwindling, whatever. Like, you're just trying to make magic happen out of nowhere. But that's tough to do.
I still think West Virginia is a really solid team. Obviously, they had a number of chances here that they did not take advantage of, both with the lead and without it. I have high hopes for where they could go in the Big 12. Especially since the Big 12 feels like it's in a bit of a tizzy as well. So I like West Virginia just as a team, but look, without droning on about what I know West Virginia fans are sick about, having that late lead.
Yeah.
I think there is still a lot out there. Remember, this is not a conference game. They can still perform admirably in
I was going to say, look who's you're totally right. Look who's on their schedule in the Big 12. Their season's going to be nothing but this game, for better or worse. It's a bunch of flawed, interesting teams that West Virginia is going to play. I mean, look, we watched the end of the TCU-UCF game. Teams are blowing leads left and right. Teams look terrible one week. They look great the next week. Why can't West Virginia win a bunch of those games? I don't have a good reason they can't.